Let us discuss the question. What went wrong? Simple question. What went wrong for Dan Hurley's UConn squad as they had the lead at a couple of points early in the game, midway through the second half? It was close. Only down by 4 at halftime. They ended up losing by 6. So what went wrong for Dan Hurley's UConn squad? I've got Rampage, Foot Locker, and Flirty Tex. Yeah, and we'll combine all of these things together, and we're going to have a confetti party is what we're going to have. So, Dan Hurley's team, as we talked about in the lead up to this game, I know you listen to everything I say unless you don't, but the lead up to this game, we talked about how UConn could win this game, what they had to do to win this game. They played the way they wanted. I truly believe UConn played the way they wanted in this game. They dragged Michigan into a grinded-out game. Michigan didn't get close to 90 points like they had been doing 90-plus in every one of these games. It was a grinded-out game. They played in the mud! In the mud! They played in the mud! Just like they had designed. They did not plan. Dan Hurley did not plan on doing some karaoke. And they did the karaoke there. They cranked up the old Commodores tune. Brick House? It was a brick house. And make or miss. They always say make or miss, got to make it or miss it, all that stuff. So UConn struggled significantly from anywhere on the court. They just could not make a shot. Neither team shot the ball well. You toss in the Komodo dragon in the room, the foul trouble, specifically what we call a rampage by the Zebras, a trampling by the Zebras in this game. Dan Hurley's team, it's an unpopular opinion. It needs to be said. They got squeezed. Dan Hurley's team got squeezed. And that's the reality here. You can roll your eyes all you want. Oh, you just why you said that, you loser. I know. Call like I see it. And that's what happened. Now, you can say that's what should have happened and you're okay with it. That's fine. It happened. They got squeezed. They did. And, you can do what you want with that. The numbers don't lie. Michigan, I believe, was 28 foul shot attempts. UConn had 15. And that is a plus 13 gap. Close the gap. It is interesting to note that the UConn Huskies, on real basketball, not with official intervention, with real basketball, straight up, UConn actually outscored Michigan. They scored more baskets than Michigan did. All right? And so, but Michigan had the whistle. Whistle. And they had that. And so the foul trouble wrecked the UConn rotation. And any kind of rhythm that they had was knocked out, although they really didn't have much. Neither team had much rhythm at all. It was just a horrific game in terms of that. And you said, well, it's good defense. Was it really good defense or just horrific offense? But the whole thing was a buzzkill, right? The whole thing was an absolute buzzkill. And you're asking a team shooting 30% to overcome the officials who were clearly leaning towards Michigan for whatever reason. And so there you go. It wasn't just the Michigan Wolverines. It was the 6th, 7th, and 8th man, which happened to have the zebra thing on there, and that was that. Now, as for Michigan, the champions of college basketball, a team that will live in the annals of Wolverine basketball, Axel Lendenberg, the crown jewel of the Wolverines transfer portal class for the ages. As these guys came in, got checks, and they produced, and they won, and all that. He was asked after the game, you saw the post-game coverage there, about being, well, he wasn't asked specifically about being mercenaries. He was asked in general. He brought this up on his own. As Lendenberg brought this up on his own, he was asked how this Michigan team is going to be remembered, and he said, quote, "They might still be calling us mercenaries, but we're the hardest playing team in college basketball. We're the best team." You know what that means? Best team in college basketball, and we want to be one of the greats ever. I think he meant greatest, but he said greats. All right, so question. The star, the jewel, and I actually like this guy. He's a good quote. We need more guys like that. Like he said at halftime that he was just terrible, and he was, and normally guys don't admit that, and I thought that was great, and so just didn't play well in this game, and I tip of the old headphones that he did say that. But as far as this particular quote, we're parsing the words here. Axel Lendenberg defending the mercenary label. Right? So I still might call us mercenaries, but the hardest playing team, all that stuff. So is Michigan, the champions of college basketball, the biggest beneficiary of the NIL or the biggest abuser of the name, image, likeness in college basketball? So the answer is not, it is not that they're the biggest beneficiary. It is not that they're the biggest abuser. The answer is C, all of the above. That's my answer. All right, C. And that is the point of whatever this is. Now, I know President Trump's trying to change it, and we'll see if that actually works. There'll supposedly be some legal battles to prevent some of those things from happening. We'll see how that plays out politically. But for now, this is what we have, right? So this is the system that's in place in college basketball. Just like Indiana just brought in a bunch of players and they won in college football, Michigan brought in a bunch of players and they won in basketball. This is how you play the game. This is how it is done here. And so as they say at Foot Locker, if the shoe fits, you should probably buy it. If the shoe fits, you should probably buy it. And this isn't a loophole. This is the business model. Under Dusty May, the Wolverines did not accidentally trip into the portal and land 6 transfers. No, this is not some kind of coinky-dink that took place, and every man, woman, and child knows it. That is a shopping spree at the Super Mall, the NIL Super Mall. They got the Platinum credit card, and they went out and they went for it. Lendenberg, their top player, imported from UAB. Every key player, every single key player that got it done, 75% of the points scored in the championship game came from players who were at other schools, started at other schools around college basketball. So it's like, mall, go on Amazon Prime, same-day delivery, and no development, no loyalty needed and all that. Just you're welcome. And so the critics yelling, mercenaries, mercenaries, oh, mercenaries, and all that. Yeah, no kidding. Thank you very much, Captain Obvious. That is the modern Division I men's basketball and football model. Everyone is a hired gun. Every single one of these guys who's any good. And Michigan's just better at getting it done. So that's how you have to do it. And it's, I would say, a good thing. Anybody that's got $8 to $12 million, that's what these teams, their payroll is at $8 to $12 million. That's what's going to cost you. And Duke had a bigger payroll. They didn't get it done. But $8 to $12 million. So, so are the Wolverines abusing the NIL? No. And if you're still saying student athlete, you're a dinosaur. Is what you are, right? It's free agency with midterms. It's all that. And so Michigan's not abusing the NIL thing at all. Only if you think the rules, using the rules properly, efficiently, is somehow cheating. If you believe that, then okay. That's fine. But Michigan didn't break the system. They understood the system, and they went out. We'll use them out of the mouth. 75% of the players were in the portal. They got 100% of that was intentional, and there are 0 apologies given. They're not, in this case, they're not the villains. They're not. This is the modern form of college basketball. This is manifest destiny. And like I said, anybody that's got the money, you hire the right coach. You spend $8 to $12 million. You got a shot to win a whole championship. That's it. Whoever you are. Like the anteaters of UC Irvine, if they had $12 million and the right coach, could go out and win the championship, right? And if your program isn't doing this, you're already behind. That's the way it is. All right, now last word to the victor goes the rumor as the confetti has fallen. It is not cold yet, the confetti. It has fallen down from the arena there. And the vultures, if you look up, the vultures are circling overhead. We are already hearing rumblings, the rumble in the tummy, that Michigan head coach Dusty May, who I believe has only been there 2 years, is expected to receive NBA interest as the offseason gets going here for many teams. There's only a few days to go in the regular season of the NBA, then the playoffs will take place, which will go on for like 7 months, and then they'll have the silly season in the NBA. The chatter is that Dusty May will not go to any college job. However, He's not shutting the door to the pros. That's a different story. So the question, are NBA teams genuinely intrigued by Michigan coach Dusty May, or is this the old classic agent, plant, smoke, so Michigan has to pay more money and pay a premium to give Dusty May an extra large check to keep him around. So this is not, I believe, fairy dust. After a minutes-long Maller investigation, Dusty May put the transfer portal Avengers together, and now the NBA's, they're out there, those executives are sending those 2 a.m. flirty texts. Hey, big fella, you up? Like that kind of stuff. Hey, what are you doing? That thing. So that's how that goes. And the NBA is circling like the vultures over the rotting carcass of an animal out there in the Serengeti. And they're like, hey, wait a minute. You look at those teams like Orlando and the Wizards and some of these other suckbag teams, Memphis. And they're like, hey, we're going to have a top 5 pick in the NBA draft lottery. And we need a new coach in New Orleans, all these terrible jobs. And there is a supply chain shortage of coaches. It's the same cycle every year. It's paint by numbers. Paint by numbers, hot coach, in this case, transfer portal maestro, and boom goes the dynamite, next big thing. And so Dusty May is holding the golden hammer. And I wouldn't be shocked if Dan Hurley gets some more calls from the NBA also, but this is about Dusty May, the coach of Michigan. So he's got leverage literally coming out of his nose and his ears and his eyes. It's oozing out, the leverage, out of his nostrils, his ears, and his eyeballs. It's wild. And Dusty May, he's at a fork in the road. Like, does he get he's obviously going to get a raise at Michigan. That's a given. That's how that works. He's going to get a raise. Must be nice. Most companies don't give those out. They're too cheap. But he's going to get a raise, and otherwise he could get that raise or go to the NBA and follow the Muppets and be Gonzo. Gonzo the Muppet. Bye-bye. So the plot thickens. We keep an eye on this story in the coming days.